everyone. I'm Linda Nickell, and welcome to the Happiness Hour, your weekly dose of inspiration, creativity, and connection. Each week, we welcome a new guest who shares their photography and the stories behind their images. If you'd like to stay in the loop, sign up for our newsletter at lindanickell.com/happiness hour. Tonight's guest is Noah Gilbert. Noah is the Assistant Director of Creative Video for Indiana University. He plays a key role in shaping the visual identity of IU athletics, and he leads the creation of high-impact video content for the Hoosiers women's volleyball and men's basketball programs. He produces everything from hype reels and behind-the-scenes features to social media highlights and recruiting pieces. With a keen eye for storytelling and a passion for capturing the energy of student athletes, Noah brings the spirit of IU to life through dynamic, engaging visuals that resonate with fans and elevate the university's athletic brand. If you're on Instagram, look for him at Noah G Edits. In tonight's presentation, Building Your Creative Network, Turning Connections into Opportunities, Noah will share practical strategies for building a strong, professional network in the creative and media industry with a focus on college athletics. Drawing from his own experience, he'll offer actionable tips on connecting with clients, collaborating with creatives, and turning relationships into real career opportunities. Noah, welcome to the Happiness Hour.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here. Just about everybody, and I'm very excited to get started and talk about a little bit about myself and what I'm very passionate about.
Well, we were chatting. If somebody was in the room early or before we started recording, sometimes I like to admit how I came across a photographer and how they got, roped into coming and doing presentations. But I'm going to give credit where credit's due. My very good friend Karen Riley, who is in this room tonight, has a son that was an athlete and or still is an athlete. I think Ian will always be an athlete, but he played college baseball. And Karen sent me a note and said, I don't know if you have any interest in sports photographers, but this guy is amazing and I love this work. And without his work, we wouldn't have any pictures of Ian. So she bragged about you. I went to your Instagram and I'm like, you know what? I have nothing to lose. I'm just going to invite him. He can say no. And you didn't. And so here it's been a little bit to get you here, but thank you for being patient and working with my schedule. And and now you're not even at that university. You have jumped a couple of places. And so let me ask real quick, because I know you don't have I shared your Instagram. Do you have a website do you want to share?
No, I actually, so again, I'm a big believer in you gotta get it how you get it.
Yeah.
And I was at SEMO, I had my website, and then when I left SEMO, I lost my website and I haven't built it back up. So
Okay. That's okay. But I just want to make sure if you did, let's make sure I can link it and people can find you there. But you can find him on Instagram, Noah G Edits, and he apparently answers emails or messages because he answered mine. So thank you for being here and thank you for sharing some of your tips and your ideas that maybe we can implement for maybe our own work. So with that, I'm going to run the presentation tonight. So if there's any technical glitches, that's on me. So is anything okay? I skimmed over kind of my bio for you. If there's something I missed and you want to add to it, please do.
I will, I'll tell you when to go next, and then we'll be on the same page. So I really appreciate you. Thank you. Awesome. So first off, thank you guys for being here, and also thank you, Linda, for inviting me here. I will never pass up an opportunity to talk about something I'm very passionate about. And from just watching some of the past people speak and stuff, have a utmost respect for everybody here, especially like it's very difficult to get out of your comfort shell and talk to other people, and let alone about something you're passionate about. But quick thing. So this will be about building your creative network, turning connections into opportunities. And we can get started with the what we're going to be going over. So what we're going to talk about today is just a little bit about me, my journey, and how I got to where I'm at. What I do for work now, a little bit about my gear and my growth in photography, building connections, and how network is your net worth. Okay, so who am I and how I got into college athletics? My name is Noah Gilbert. I am 24 years old. I'm from Newburgh, Indiana. I started off as a college baseball player. I played 5 years of college baseball, and I met my lovely wife there. And we ended up, again, we just got married just about a year ago, actually. So that was a blessing to get there. But how I got into college athletics was I was an intern for my wife's basketball team. The coaches saw that I like to take pictures on my iPhone and videos, and they were like, "Hey, we really need something to revamp our social media for recruiting and etc." So they offered me a non-paid internship to run their social media, and to me, that felt like $1 million at the moment. So I really, truly wanted to go and prove myself and show like what I'm capable of. And I ended up doing that for a whole year. And I just kept moving on and getting better as a creator slash a person. And I learned a lot of challenges. I took constructive criticism. Thankful for baseball to teach me how to take constructive criticism. And then I moved on to after graduation. I looked at just job boards, etc. I didn't know what to do with myself besides I wanted to be a videographer slash photographer in this industry. And one of my friends I actually networked with at this freelancing, USI is a small Division 1 in Southern Indiana. I just randomly went up to him and I just asked him straight up, like, "Hey, what do you do for a living and how are you doing this for a living? And I need to know." And he told me what he did, and it's literally my dream job. And I'm so grateful I took the opportunity to talk to him that night because I don't know where I would be now at this moment. So SEMO took a chance on me. I actually begged multiple times for them to get me an interview. I'm a big believer in if you give me an interview, I will get the job. I am very confident in myself when it comes to speaking with just people because they feel like I know what it's like to be in someone's shoes, and I was very grateful that they gave me an opportunity. My work wasn't the best, but my personality and my work ethic showed when I got the opportunity. So a little fast forward, Southeast Missouri State actually got a bid into the NCAA regionals, and that's when we went to Fayetteville, Arkansas. And again, randomly, I'm just randomly doing my job, recording SEMO, just doing my thing, taking photos. And I look over to my right, and there's this Arkansas videographer there. And so I looked to my right, and I was like, you know what? It won't hurt. The worst he could say is no. I went over there and introduced myself, shook his hand, and I'm a big believer in my faith. And after that, I prayed about it, I manifested it, and I was like, if something wants to come along with this, something will happen. Let alone we beat Arkansas, which Miss Riley will know all about that, which was one of my favorite moments. Ian actually caught the game-winning fly ball, and it was one of my favorite moments as a creator. And we ended up going to do double elimination, so we ended up sitting down, eating lunch and dinner. And the boss that I talked to sat down with me randomly and was just like, "Hey, like if there's opportunities around, I will be reaching out to you and." Hopefully that you're able to make something happen. Didn't think anything of it, just kept working my butt off and putting my head down and grinding. And I say about a month later, he said, "Noah, we have an interview or an opportunity for a new position here at Hawks Plus, where Arkansas is. It'll be primarily with football. Would love for you to apply." So I applied and I interviewed it the day of my day before my wedding. And I got the job, and I was very grateful for it. And now we were able to relocate back to home in Indiana. I would personally be the first person to say I'm a very big homebody. I miss my mom. I'm a mama's boy. And I really just wanted it to be home. And my wife got opportunity to come here, and we ended up going to Indiana. And I really just wanted to talk today. This is not talking a lot about photography. I know that this is what this is all about, but I wanted to talk about just the connection and gaining opportunities in this industry. So, what I do for work, I'm an assistant director of creative video for Indiana Athletics. I'm a big photographer on my side. We'll get later into that, but I am very much better at videography. I've always just been a storyteller, the cinematics of the thing. Again, if you ask me, I think videography is photography. Like, if videos are literally photos being taken, and there's a beautiful part about it, especially when you can capture just a single frame from just a video, and it gives that beautiful effect that not much cameras can do. And I just wanted to tell you guys a little bit of what I do day to day because I am blessed enough to say that I work full time as a videographer. I'm grateful for it, and I again never take a day for granted. I never feel like I'm at work, but day to day consists of me just waking up, just going to some practices, or I'm making a footage request for certain people, or I'm editing hype videos, or I'm making the setup for our media day, or I'm brainstorming with the people around me on how can we get more people to follow our Instagram, our Twitter, our social media. How can we correlate with marketing, and how can we get people to come to Indiana athletic games? And I think it really helps tremendously seeing how we work left and right with other people. I work with SIDs, which is sports information directors. They deal with numbers and everything else. And then I deal with a lot of photographers. I deal with interns. Interns are like my pride and joy. I wish I had me when I was an intern, so that's how I look at life now. I'm just like, if they're struggling, I will make sure I give them the keys to success, and I think that's been a powerful thing in my journey. I also I deal with the fans. I look at social media, I look at what people are saying about videos and how this new trend is popping up. We need to hop on it. And I think that is what I eventually want to do. So another thing on this slide is the end goal. The end goal for me is just to be a coordinator of direction. Like, I want to be a director of creative video. I don't want to, or just creative. I don't want to do camera work anymore. Yes, I will do it on my side, but I don't want to. I want to be able to help the photographers. I want to be able to help the videographers, the interns, but just be all around it to use my creative uh, talent that I have with photography and videography at the same, and be able to help IU expand up to places we've never seen before. So, a little bit of background on my photography. I fell in love with it as a kid. I used to make YouTube videos for the longest time. My first ever video I've ever made was me taking photos of my WWE wrestlers as a kid, single frame by frame, and I would just put them together and make a video. And I fell in love with it. My mom got me a little camera. If I was back in my other desk, I would show you guys, but it was a little click and shoot camera, and I fell in love with it, and I was actually pretty good at it. I guess I look back at it, my framing was right. I had all body parts in where it needs to be, and I just fell in love with the what a camera can bring to people, especially the things that people want to relive. The reason I fell in love with photography was just because long story short, I I I almost lost my life when I was a freshman in high school. I got in a big accident as a freshman. Um, it's a very freak accident. Let's just say a golf cart was involved, and I really just it changed my life. I wanted to make something of myself, and I told myself that if I was given another chance, which I was blessed enough to do, I will always do what I'm passionate about, and I will always do what I wanted to do. And ever since I was a freshman in high school, I was passionate about photography and videography. I also wanted to be a pro baseball player, but I didn't have athletic genes enough. So I was like, I have to go do this. And I know it's crazy to say, but like almost losing my life really had like showed me that life is too short to not do what you love. So I didn't care how much money I made, how much work I worked. I was going to do this. So another thing is we're not talking about photography as much today, but the reason I chose videography over photography is just because truthfully, I'm just more talented at videography. I wish I was much better at it. I will show you some of my work, and I would love criticism. I'm a big constructive criticism person. But yeah, so that is why I chose videography over photography. I'm just much better at it. So here's how I started. To the left is Oakland City, where I went to college. This is one of my first photos I've ever taken, like truthfully going into my profession career. And then we move over to the middle, which is Southeast Missouri State football, which is one of the biggest things in my eyes that gave me my opportunity. My photography grew tremendously from this area. Like just the framing, the moments. You can just see the passion that is in this photo. And then next is kind of, I guess you say foreshadowing. This is Southeast Missouri State on the bottom right, and then Arkansas is in the middle. And I end up going to Arkansas, so I just wanted to throw that photo in there. So this is actually the thing that started up my journey to get to Arkansas. This was the Fayetteville Regional that I was talking about. The handsome man in the middle with the bat is Miss Riley's son, Ian Riley. That's the one that actually got me to get on here and meet you lovely people. Then just the photos. I feel like I'm very like again, everything's coming humbly for me, but like I feel like I'm confidently pretty good at sports photography and I really truly love it, but I just wanted to go to the videography route. But here's some of my work that you guys can see. So, to keep into photography, I really wanted to just start something that my wife and I are very passionate about, which is weddings. So we do anything from weddings to senior shoots to engagement photos to maternity photos. We do a bunch of stuff. So again, my wife is very talented herself, but she was just a lot better at sports than me, so she really didn't get time to grow as much as I was able to grow in this field. So this is me and my wife's like pet project. We really truly wanted to start something that we can eventually make even more full time rather than what I'm doing at IU. But I really very passionate about this. This is called By the Gilberts. It's basically we have family photos, wedding photos, and wedding videos. So use my talents and my wife's also a wedding coordinator. And today's like that's her full-time job. She's a wedding coordinator. So should we use her coordination, my wedding, my photography, and then I also have some people who help me with videography and photography. But truthfully, like these are my photos I just took about probably I think it's in May. So I still got it, I think. I think that
Mhm.
I still have a long way to go, but I think this is what I'm very passionate about and eventually I will be getting back into photography for sure full time. So, a little gear. I don't know if you guys know a lot about videography, but so we're gonna look at videography first. So that is called an FX 30. It's a cinema line camera. It shoots 24 frames per second and it shoots 4K. It goes up to 120 frames per second. And basically, all it is just how much I can slow it down. The movies you see, let's say you go to watch Batman in movie theaters, this is probably shot in 24 frames per second. It's something that you don't get if you ever watch a documentary, which I'm obsessed with documentaries. You get this the interviews are shot in 24. It makes you feel the motion blur. Like right now this is motion blur and I feel like I get the most out of it. It's like the intimacy that you don't get from shooting at a higher frame rate. And that's what that camera is very good at. I just shot my first wedding with that actually. And then I shoot on a 7200, which I know a lot of photographers. This is a photo camera, which I know a lot of you guys shoot from past presentations on a 72 to 100. This is my baby. This thing does everything. I am obsessed with this lens. And then you go further down, that's a 24 to 70. It's closer for those tight shots. I'm a big believer in showing the person's face, the natural beauty of it. And I just think that the lenses here give something that a lot of other lenses do not, especially with sometimes you get down to 1.8 app, and I just think that is truly things that we don't see. But for photography, I don't know, and I'm very interested to see what everybody else will be shooting on. But I'm a Sony guy, maybe because I do videography on Sony, but I love shooting on my A7 III and A7 IV. But the same thing for the lens. There's something that 7200 just gives off. I love it, and I will never. That is my bread and butter. So now that we talked about a little bit about photography and videography, I will be going into what this whole thing is about, and that's just building connections. I don't know what everyone does for a living, and I don't know what they're passionate about or if they want to get into this industry, not even for sports photography, but make it full-time job. So we're going to be going over being intentional and clear with your goals, leverage every platform, provide value, and follow up and stay consistent. So first, we're going to go with being intentional with your goals. Being intentional with your networking goals means knowing exactly what you're working toward and also can help you get there. So, a little backstory basically, I knew that I wanted to get to Indiana University. I knew that I wanted to be a videographer for the IU athletic brand. I went out and I reached out to my DMs, and I know that Linda was talking about how I reached back out to her. I am, again, if there was somebody reaching out to me when who left me on deliver or something, I wouldn't like it. I mean, I'm not Kim Kardashian, like I can respond to a DM. So I feel like I truly just I reached out to my boss now at this moment and I was like, I feel like I can help this brand grow. I feel like I can do things that most people cannot, and that just brings this creative talent, but also let alone just this personality, this person that is just going to work his absolute tail off for you and show up every single day for the brand and show up every single day for you. So I wanted to just talk about just being more intentional with things, and I think that is a true power thing of just like you set your mind to something, you go for it. Again, we are never too young, we're never too old to do what we are passionate about and also what we want to do in our life. Again, my mom she worked at a job for almost 25 years and she just woke up one day and was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And she quit her job and got a new job. And I know she was scared, but I truthfully was like, I have the utmost respect for her because again, I don't want her to look back 5 years or 10 years down the road and saying, I wish I would have done that. And instead of trying to connect with everyone's focus on building a relationship that align with your interests, industry, and career path, this targeted approach makes your efforts more meaningful and increases your chance of creating valuable, lasting connections, which eventually we'll get to the connection part. But again, if you're being intentional with your goals, everything is so, I don't know if I say vulnerable because you have this passionate feeling in your heart that other person has this passionate feeling in your heart. Such as we're speaking right now, I think that we all have something we're passionate about, which is clearly bird photography, which I will eventually become passionate about. But I think that we all have the same interest of capturing something that a human eye cannot see and try to like photography is beautiful, but the human eye cannot it doesn't do justice sometimes. So that is what we're striving for. We're striving to get that one shot that we are like, I'm very proud of this work. And that causes you to get more work and then lasting connections. So I hate the word leverage because I feel like I'm like at a casino and I'm like, I'm doing much better than you. But leverage isn't bad. I think leverage in networking isn't a bad thing. It's about using your strength, experiences, and value to build mutual connections. I am I had to stand up for myself sometimes. I'm like, you are my boss, you are my friend, but you need me more than I need you right now. And that's just knowing my worth and that's just knowing how I worked my tail off to get to the point I am. I am not going to let you kind of tell me what to do in a way of like I don't I've worked let's say 60 hours this week. I think that it's okay if I take a day off. And I just feel like you having that vulnerable connection with people in the industry, I think that lasts a longer time when you go, okay, I actually do need a week off because my mental health isn't the best. They know that, okay, he does work his butt off and he is truthfully not just trying to get out of work. Like, no, he needs his time off and he needs this. And I think when it comes to having the leverage, like again, leverage is not the right word in my eyes, but this is what it is. Leverage is just like knowing that my work ethic shows, and this is what I can use, not against you. Again, this sounds very bad, but not against you. I just wanted to use it to help me be successful in this field. Okay, so value. You have to know your worth. I'm a big believer in knowing your worth. Number one is work for free. You're betting on yourself. I worked for free for 2 years. I worked with my wife's basketball team. I didn't get paid a lick of dollar, but I still woke up every single morning and chose to do what I did because I knew in long term that this was going to set me up. Again, I keep affirmations on my mirror because I just need it. And I just feel like future self is counting on you. And future self would be like, okay, if I know that I'm in this situation now, how did you get there? I'm like, oh, I worked for free, so keep doing it again. So what I like to tell my interns, again, I like to say interns are really what my pride is, and I'm very proud of my interns. But they always talk about like, hey, I'm only getting $10 an hour or $12 an hour. And I'm just like, hey, like just letting you know, like I worked for free and look where I'm at. And you want to get to my spot in my career, you're gonna have to do some things that you're not going to want to do to get to the point you are. So one of the biggest things in our industry is charging people, which again, I am a big believer in. I'm going to do this for you. If you tip me, thank you. If not, um, I'll know next time to charge you even more. And that's how I look at it. I just look like the connections are more attainable if you have that mutual respect. And again, if I'm doing, let's say, a wedding, I'm going to give a price, of course, but I'm not going to overcharge these people because I know that this person probably is struggling with money or this and that. There's certain ways to do it, but working for free is very it and maybe today's I lived in a different world 6 years ago, but today like I know that some people can't work for free, but if that's the only way to get your foot started and or your foot in the door, I think that is the way to do it. To understand you have worth and not everything is worth it. You need to learn when to say no. I got burnt out at SEMO a lot just because I was over 15 sports there. Every day I did a video, I did a photography. Every day I was just burnt out, and it's because I said yes all the time. I need to know that, okay, if I take a step back, will this benefit me in the long run? Will I be able to recover better and be able to show what I'm about rather than just saying yes and giving half 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 butt work. Like I just didn't truly think that saying yes all the time, I thought it was beneficial to me, but it really realistically wasn't. So you have to understand when to say no and understand your worth is everything. And so, as a big believer in mental health, just struggling when you are tired and just can't feel like you are yourself anymore, like you need to know when to step away. And us as creators, we have to take a step back and understand that this is what we work with and not the like our actual hands. Our mind is what creates our money, our revenue, our opportunities. And I feel like understanding to say no, it will help us tremendously in this industry. So following up, connections are cool, but when you feel build a friendship, it's even better. I couldn't tell you how many times I've gotten opportunities by just saying hi or hello. I did not, Linda, I'll be the first one to say, I didn't want to do this when I first got the DM, but I told myself, I know that this will help me meet wonderful people. And I think that, again, I say 3 weeks ago when you text me, August is almost here. I'm like, oh, shoot. Like, I forgot, like, I have to lock in. So I did it and I still easily could have gave you a simple, like, I'm busy today. I'm very busy, but no. I am very grateful I'm doing this. This is something that is truthfully going to help me with the long run of just meeting people and also understanding that our industry is an art. I never in a million years thought I was going to watch an hour presentation about bird photography, but I want to go out and shoot birds as soon as I can now. And I think the friendships and stuff that you build from just saying hello or hi goes a long way. I wouldn't have got my job at SEMO. I wouldn't have got my job at Arkansas. And most importantly, I wouldn't have got my job at Indiana, where I feel like I could be my forever home if I just didn't follow up with them or I didn't even reach out to them and tell you, hey, I want this. What will it take for me to get here? So if you guys want to look up this guy's Instagram, this guy name is Macademic Media. I actually do some freelancing work for him up in Indy. He actually is in Finland. Well, he was in Finland for a long, I think 2 weeks was it? It was a sauna tour with Jesse Eisler, and he's one of the most well-known people who he owned the King or the Atlanta Hawks. He's owned um he has a brand called Big Ass Calendar. It's like those big calendars where it keeps you just ready to go. But he basically just started with reaching out a DM to him, and he was like, and he recently just got laid off at his job, so he was like, I have nothing to lose. So he reached out to him, and he was like, you know what, you're a good guy, you're a great personality. I'll give you a trial run. We won't charge you as much, or we won't pay as much, but why don't you come out to Finland and give us a 35-minute docu-series? And he took the risk and went out there and did it. And now he has I say about 4 to 5 people who have multi-million dollar companies that he works with now. And it's just little things that of just being a good person and also just not being scared to show that we are somebody else behind the lens. We're actually human beings, that this will go forever. Like, I'm hoping that next time I come on here that one of you guys will invite me to shoot birds. I mean, I'll make the effort to go. But again, it's just the connections are what make us. You could tell me I lose my job and everything, but I still had the connections I made. I've made wonderful connections throughout everything. Like Miss Riley, like I remember she came up to me and it was at Arkansas and she was just like, what you do for my son, like, is grateful. I'm like, little do you know I do this for 14 other sports, but the fact that she's the one that came up to me and told me like I'm very grateful for it, that's what wakes me up in the morning and I'm able to go and be like, okay, I am changing lives more than I think I am. And again, photos speak a million words that we're not able to speak, but it's again, it just goes the long way. So network is your net worth. I've heard this. I know you guys have probably heard this, but opportunities come through people and not just job boards. I got my opportunities from just talking to people and just meeting people. And also, again, I am now a person who knows people who do certain, again, we know somebody who shoots birds. We know people who shoot, I don't know, cats, dogs, chipmunks. I don't know, but I'm very grateful that I know these people now because I'm able to know that, again, I might sometimes come off as still immature, but I'm 24 years old. I'm still learning. And again, I think if I was a little older, I would want to shape me and show me like how can I help Noah get to the place he needs to be as not a photographer, but as a human being. So if there's opportunities arise when you meet good people and not just LinkedIn or Indeed or I don't know, something you see on social media. And then back to it, your value grows with who you know. I can speak about this for hours, but I have so many opportunities to shoot weddings now, to shoot baseball games, football games. I'm just grateful that I'm able to know that people care enough about who I am and know that they trust me and give me a good word to other people saying like Noah and his wife do phenomenal job at weddings. You need to hire him. I never thought in a million years that I would make a wedding business with my wife that hopefully one day we can grow to, I don't know, hopefully that can make us our full-time job one day. But again, it's just being a raw, vulnerable person will get us a long way in this industry. And then invest in relationships like you invest in your skills. And this is the biggest part of it. I think we all get caught up to our day to day of waking up in our routine, and we wake up and we're like, oh, I gotta go do this, gotta go do that. You need to change your mentality to, oh, I get to do this. It needs no, I have to do this. It needs to be I get to do this. I get to wake up. I get to go shoot birds. I get to go shoot IU's football team. I get to do that. And that is something that I looked at with relationships now. Like I'm like, oh, I have to do this thing tonight. No, I get to. I'm able to meet lovely people who have the same passions that I do and that I can able to learn from. And most importantly, just I'm able to take a step back and understand that it's not all about you. It's we're all coming for one big purpose, and that's to show what photography is about. I know that wasn't too long, but I'm open to questions and again, I could talk all day. This is again, I'm very grateful that I got through this without passing out, but this was something very I'm very grateful for everybody that who stayed in here and listened to my story. I wish that I was a little more of a photographer, but I'm glad that hopefully you guys got something out of it.
Well, that's funny because to me, you're more of a photographer than you think you are because I flipped through, your Instagram, and what I found was, what I thought was a photo, I flipped, it's video. And I caught myself watching a lot of sports video. And you are a fantastic storyteller.
Thank you.
And your athletes have got your athlete's mom already love you, right? I already know that for a fact. But your athletes, I mean, especially basketball women, you're not, it's not a football team that gets all the press. And so you're just really helping these other athletes get a little bit of attention. And I just think it's wonderful. Um, Oh, great. Kathy, it's not really a question, but well, it is a question. She says, do you realize you are a teacher of many venues?
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And I think that's been the biggest thing for me is I had to learn quickly on how to mature in this industry. When you're getting told no, it really hurts your heart sometimes, and it just makes you feel like a little less of yourself. So I have to take everything with a grain of salt and also just most importantly step out of my comfort zones and being able to again these interns who are 18, 19, 20 years old. Again, I'm not that much further away from them, but I really just want to help them in the long run and show them that like you can do this for a living and most importantly you can do this to inspire the next people who come in your role.
Well, you are certainly a role model for these kids, whether they realize it or not. I was catching myself smiling at listening to you talk. You are very well versed. You have personal goals and you're checking them off one by one. And I just wish you the very, very best. And I'm just going to say this so that it is recorded. When you become the Kim Kardashian of sports video or photography or wherever you end up, um, I do expect you to reply to my DMs.
I will 100%.
I'm just saying. All right, Mrs. Riley has a question. How do you prep before a game?
So usually what I do is I so usually you get there way before the athletes ever start and I just try to think about first off just being grateful that I'm in this opportunity. I went from a very small gym where we had I wish I can ask my wife right now, but like I think we had like 100 people come to the games, and then you get to a IU basketball game, which is sold out, and it's like you just got to really step back and be like, thank you that I'm in this opportunity, and I usually just make sure that I show up early. I make sure that right when the first thing happens on that game, I am ready to go. So I make sure my SD cards are cleared. I make sure that my batteries are charged. I make sure my interns know where they are. I'm more stressing about them than what I'm doing. And then after that, I just again, I know I always look at it like this. I'm gonna get this shot that's gonna change my persona. And there's times last year where again, this might be a cool thing that you guys don't know, but went from I was an autofocus videographer, and at the more professional levels, you are become manual focus, and that is very hard. I understand photos because photos they're not moving as much, but when they are coming at you like a bird's coming at you, that's again, it's very impossible to do it manual. But for my job, I have to be manual focus, and that is one of the biggest challenges that I have ran into this year. So I'm mainly prepping that I have my manual focus ready, but for the most part, I know that I'm just trying to make sure I'm in the right spot for the right shot. And that's a saying, like I'm in the right spot for the right shot. I always say that to myself, and that I won't pass up on that. And besides that, I really don't do much besides just the simple things like make sure my batteries are charged and etc.
Okay. All right. There are some really nice comments in here, and I will make sure that you get a copy of the chat. Noah, thank you for coming and thank you for sharing. And I just wish you the best of luck. And it just seems like you're on the right track and you don't need luck. You've got a good head on your shoulders. And like I said, when you become that I don't know, famous um, sports Kardashian, please remember the small people, and
I will,
we'll
no
be here
doubt.
waiting for you. All right, next week, Jackie Schletter will join us with her presentation, Creative Editing in Lightroom Classic, Breathing New Life into Your Images. Until next time, go out and create something beautiful, and I hope that we see you again soon.